Morning, welcome to
SummerMath number 5.
SummerMath number 5. We've been learning about counting,
Yeah.
and today we're learning just the basics of arrangement. So let's say I have a line with 5 slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to look and try to understand how many different ways can we arrange these 5 snap cubes in the line, in these 5 slots. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
Actually, maybe we brought out too many snap cubes here. Let's give ourselves some room. Okay. So, how would you like to approach a problem like this?
We can make the slots.
Yeah, we can just draw some lines to make the slots.
Okay, we can make the slots. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, very good.
We could label the snap cubes A, B, C, D, and E.
Well, we could. They're already different colors though, so
we don't really need to do that.
so they're already pretty much distinguished from each other. No, we're not quite perfectly on the screen, but that's okay.
Now we can look. We'll look how many different choices for snap cubes are there for this first slot.
Okay, and let's have your brother answer that.
None of them are in the slots yet, so there's 5 choices.
Okay.
5 snap cubes.
All right, why don't you just pick one that goes in the first one? Okay, so there's 5 choices that goes in this first slot here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's going to be 4 for the second slot.
Okay, 4 for the second slot, and we can pick any of the 4.
3 for the next slot,
All right.
Then 2.
and then there's only 1 snap cube left.
Okay, 1. So it's 5, 4, 3,
2, and 1.
2.
Which is 5 factorial. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1.
Okay, so we got 5 choices for the first, 4 choices for the second, 3, 2, and 1. And what's interesting about that is because these are independent from each other, we can multiply together.
So
Okay, so we get 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And what is that?
It's 24 times 5, which is 120.
Okay, which is 120. But now I want to show you something interesting. What if we didn't start with the first slot instead? What if we just start with some random slot? Okay, go ahead.
Alright, let's just start with this slot.
Okay, how many choices did we have to put in there?
5 again.
5.
well, now you could pick another random
Some
slot.
random slot. How many choices do we have for there?
4.
4.
And then another random slot, 3 choices.
Okay.
Then 2.
2.
And then the final 1.
It winds up the same, even though we didn't do it in
Well,
order.
no, it's not the same. It's 2 times 3 times 5 times 1 times 4.
But multiplication is commutative. So it's the same.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, now, what do you think would be a slightly more difficult problem?
Well,
Keeping 5 cubes and 5 slots the same.
Well, like saying that the green couldn't go next to the yellow.
Ah, very good. That would make it a much more challenging problem
Yeah.
because you would never know where you put the yellow,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now you have a much harder problem. If you say the green and yellow can never go next to each other, now it becomes much more difficult to
Yeah.
count. Can you think of another one that's going to be slightly different than this but still has 5 cubes and 5
Well-
slots?
I have another idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Well, the blue has to go to the right of the red.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of the same thing. That kind of restriction is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that does make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Why don't you come up with an idea to make the problem a little bit different?
Well, maybe this pink has to stay at the far left.
Okay, pink has to stay at the far left. Here's one for you. What if the blocks are not all different? What if I have 2 reds and 2 purples so that this arrangement and this arrangement are the same?
Whoa.
So
Oh.
You wouldn't know. You'd have to label the blocks. like
Yeah,
1 and
now it
2.
becomes very tricky.
Yeah.
yeah.
So these are the kinds of problems you suggested, which are really, really interesting. And these kind of problems, this one is a little bit easier than the one you suggested, actually.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to be studying over the summer. All right, you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good job, guys.